13 minutes after 8 o'clock. Good morning to you. It's Monday, January 13th. We're pretty much in the middle of January, first month of 2025. And here is the First Lady of Island Tea. Kay, what's up?
Good morning to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, the regional and the international diaspora. Good morning, Jamsta. Good morning to all of those of you who are patiently waiting. You know, the Monday morning news is normally a bit lengthier than usual, so we have to get it in so you're informed, and now here we come. Oh,
Here we
Jamsta,
go.
I saw Bernardo yesterday, actually.
Oh, he's still here?
Well, yeah.
He
his
did
flight
tell me
didn't
the
go.
12th. Yeah, he had said
so,
the 12th.
Yeah, I saw him yesterday.
Okay.
So yeah, we want happiness today. Amidst all the struggles and the trials that some of us are going through, I don't know what is happening in our federation.
Oh, wait. You knew him from before?
Yeah, from here, but I didn't recognize his face. It's when yesterday he approached me and he'd be like, "You are," and I'd be like, "Yeah," and I'd be like, "Oh yeah," the voice, and I'd be like, "Yeah,
okay.
yeah." But to see him and say like I know him, no.
Okay.
But hopefully the next time I see him, his what do you call it? It sticks with me, so I can say, "Oh, Bernardo." Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, somebody every day you don't know them like that unless they speak to you.
Yeah, he didn't know that you mentioned it. Yeah, he did say he was supposed to leave yesterday.
Yeah.
What's up, Nado? So,
morning.
Yeah. Where was I? Yeah. So, well, speaking of happiness, you know, Nado's song. There was an article I saw with, is it the 10 happiest countries in the world?
And all of them seem to be over there.
All of them are European.
Yeah.
Except for Australia. Well, all of them are European, or where Europeans predominate. Or where Europeans stole. Let me put it that way.
Australia's a little
New Zealand, Australia, you know. Well, hey.
Finland comes in one. Canada is there?
Yeah, of course.
I don't remember seeing Canada. Look at you. Ready to, yeah.
But Scandinavia.
Yeah, like some
mostly,
countries.
yeah, Iceland.
How can you be happy in
Norway.
Iceland and it's cold almost all the time?
I mean, if you grow up in a particular environment, society, climate for thousands of years, I guess.
It don't bother you, does it?
Yeah, I guess.
No, fine.
I mean, of course, I'm sure they all look forward to the idea of going to where it's warm and so on, but it doesn't mean that they're not happy with the way they live, you know. And clearly, because every time I see these lists, it's pretty much, let me see if I can find it.
I just pulled it up right
Oh, you
there.
pulled it up? Yeah, okay.
You can go ahead and find it just in case you have something in particular you want to touch.
No, I mean, every time these lists happen, it's pretty much Northern Europe that you know, gets the highest marks, and New Zealand and Australia. Let me see.
It says Finland consistently, I'm going to start with the top. Finland consistently tops the ranking with its high levels of social support, trust in government, and quality of life. The country's strong focus on education and welfare contributes to its happiness.
And the one I pulled up is actually Perspective, how the world's happiest country supports its teachers. So it's interesting that
Which one is that?
This is the article?
No, which country did you
The same
pull up?
one, Finland.
Finland?
No.
Okay,
yeah, you just
okay.
said this article is concentrating on the education aspect of the happiest country. And this is kind of interesting because I remember we all know our present ruling Calypso monarch, Druzy. He's a teacher, and he won the crown with a topic less addressed, so to speak, about the plight and the conditions that teachers have to teach under. So he probably wouldn't have had to sing a song like that in Finland if there was any. Because,
if he lived in Finland.
Yeah, because they seem to have.
Yeah.
So he says Finland is widely known for having a stellar education system, a reputation that drew me to spend the past school year studying abroad at the University of Javiskala. What?
Can't help you with that one.
Javskila. Okay, Javskila. Okay, I think I have that. Javskila in central Finland, trying to uncover what education policies and cultural factors led to the country's growing reputation. I conducted field visits to Finnish schools volunteered at them, shadowed Finnish teachers, and conducted informational interviews with them. So yeah, this person really got down into why.
The educational part of it.
The educational part of why Finland is the happiest country, and this is about the third or fourth year running that Finland is at the top of the list. New Zealand, I think New Zealand and Australia tend to be in the top 5 as well, and I think Sweden and
Denmark is number 2, and it says Denmark emphasis on work-life balance, social equality, and environmental sustainability make it one of the happiest countries. And Iceland boasts a tight-knit community, low crime rates, and strong gender equality, contributing to its top happiness ranking. Its stunning natural beauty and focus on well-being also plays a role.
Yeah, sounds good. And it always makes me sad when I see these lists, and it's all European countries, you know.
But everything seems to be welfare system and almost everything.
And good health care and everything.
Yeah.
And then to add insult to injury, if you know your history, you know that these people got rich off of our backs, basically, right?
How does Israel make it into the happiest country? Because right now Israel is a mess because they still want back they will still want back their people that are missing.
Israel is on the list?
Yeah, it says Israel high happiness score reflects strong family ties, social support, and a sense of community. The country's innovation and resilience also contribute to the well-being of its people.
You see, you have to consider that. You know how we always see the worst aspects on the news of particular countries, right? And we have to remember it's not necessarily like that across the board. I mean, we have, you have the terrorist bombings, but that doesn't really happen most of the time. So I think on balance, maybe Israel is a pretty happy people. It's just like here. I mean, look how we were up in arms about crimes. We're up in arms when people rob somebody kills somebody. But on balance, wouldn't you say we're happy people? No?
We complain a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say...
I don't think we are happy people. Somebody could change that for me, but I don't think we're happy people.
Compared to Jamaica and certain other places,
we
right?
complain plenty, etc., etc.
I mean, Kittians are flocking to go to Jamaica or the Dominican Republic. That's one way to look at it, right?
So that you will consider...
Well, I mean, that says a lot.
They're not flocking those, but they're going other places.
Where the
monies are.
But my point is those people are flocking here.
Yeah, because we have bigger monies and better conditions than what they have maybe over there. Yeah. Yeah,
it's a lot
I would like to do a survey and find out if we are really a happy people over here.
I mean...
fair is fair. We complain about every single thing.
You said the right thing. We complain about everything.
Oh my gosh!
But shouldn't we complain though if we know it can be better?
That can help, but does it help?
I mean, take for example. I'm gonna give you for example. I don't think sometimes we think through things. I mean, take for example, coming back to the healthcare thing. We've had discussions over the years, recently, about people saying, it's a terrible thing that people have to be going around with sick people, sponsor sheets and stuff like that. Why don't we have a universal healthcare system? But at the same time, would these same people pay more so that we have a robust health system that looks after everyone?
If we can, I think we would, because look, on a normal day, everything around us is going up, right? But we still afford it, and our pays don't go up to match it. We still afford it. We have the one line now that everybody is singing, and it's so contagious. Things not going well, but I think it begins with us, and then it trickles down.
I did see a list over the weekend of I think the top 20 best healthcare systems in the world. Oh my God, where is it? Let me see if I can find it.
Because as you rightfully say, in Canada, they pay higher taxes, but their healthcare is good. But then, from speaking to some folks, I hear there's a queue still, because you have to wait your turn. You don't.
Yeah, but I think people blow that out of proportion. Honestly.
Okay.
I think people blow it out of proportion. In terms of that. Why am I not getting a hit? Because I read. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh yeah, I found it. 20 countries where healthcare is affordable and high quality. Top of the list.
Canada.
Spain.
Oh.
Spain has one of the highest rated healthcare systems worldwide. The excellent healthcare system in the country has been influential in increasing life expectancy among residents and helping all members of society have access to comprehensive coverage. Singapore is number 2. France, number 3. Costa Rica is number 4.
Wow.
Japan is number 5. Portugal is number 6. Germany is number 7. Thailand is number 8. Italy is number 9. Australia is number 10. Notice the US is not.
I was just about to say that we all go to the US for almost everything, but they're not there.
But the thing is, the quality is there. It's just that the greed is there too.
So you think it's the greed? Why did they make the list?
Yeah.
You really think so?
No, meaning the quality is not the problem. The problem is access, and the problem is how expensive it is, and it's because everything is profit driven.
Is Canada? What's Canada on there? I don't remember.
Coming on. Australia is 10. Canada is 11. Yeah, Canada's publicly funded healthcare system is also known as Medicare. This system has an influential role in ensuring that residents have free and low-cost services that help to increase their quality of life. Different private care options in the country offer similar services and are covered through taxes, making private care accessible to. Oh, so that's interesting. So, if you wanted a private alternative, it's still covered by the taxes, so the government still pays for that. So that's interesting. New Zealand, then Malaysia. Nice to see. You have some.
The UK is not on there.
I think it's further down, if I remember from yesterday. Austria, Switzerland. South Korea, Czech Republic, wow, Belgium, Panama, Iceland. Oh, that rounds out the 20. So the UK is. I'm surprised. Wait,
the UK and the US are not there.
I could have sworn I saw. No, because remember this is the most affordable, huh? Most affordable and quality healthcare. But I'm surprised that
the two big guns are not there. End of story.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I could have sworn I saw the UK on this. I guess I was wrong. I mean, the UK is free as well, but I don't know what the issue is with. I mean, if the argument is that they're affordable or not, I don't know what the issue is there. But speaking of health, I mean, because let's come back a little bit to that accident we had.
Oh boy. The sad part of this morning, they claimed the life of 4-month-old baby, Makiri Edwards. So, to his godmom that's in the hospital nursing her injuries, and she too, that's Miss Khadija Lewis. She is the Miss Nevis Culturama swimwear queen. When I heard that, I'd be like, oh my gosh, will she be able to do a final walk this year? How much pain is she in? Because when I did see a clip of the video, I saw the person was shaking their head, and I was wondering, is she the mom of the baby? But now that I gather some information, she's the godmom, and so I can only imagine what the mom and the rest of the family, and she too, is going through, knowing that accident cost the life of that god baby and the parents losing their child. So condolences, sympathies. We know no words can make you feel better, can replace your baby, but may you find comfort at this time in God. And I looked at varying reports, Jams, as you said, and most of it is saying people are saying we need stricter rules, we need all car seats for babies, but apparently these things are on the books, they're not enforced, and people don't do them because in places like Canada and the US, once you get your baby, they're not allowed to leave the hospital unless they have a proper car seat. The authorities in the hospital,
where is this?
In the US and Canada and those places, they have to see that the baby, especially if they're preemie, fits properly in that car seat, or else the child does not leave the hospital. And here we have these on the books, but they're not enforced. I always say, why are kids standing in the back of the car? I know folks would have heard me say this over and over again. Why are they not in car seats? Why are they not fastened? Not because they're in the back of the car. They can be flung forward and out of the windscreen.
You know,
I'm not saying that was the case for this baby, but the kids need to be strapped in a car seat, and kids should be in their booster seat until a certain age, as it is in the developing countries. We're small, but we can do these things.
You know, it's interesting to hear you say what you say, because those are the kind of regulations I like.
Mm-hmm.
You can't leave with the baby unless
it's in a car, and the
seat.
child has to fit. I listen. I look at preemie parents. I feel so sorry for them, because those kids are tiny, and the nurses and the doctors like, kids have to stay a couple more days until it's big enough to fit in that car seat. I know it breaks the parents' heart to go home without their babies, but better safe than sorry.
And then there's the other thing of, do you know that, the car seats are supposed to face backwards when they're really that young, because they can't control their necks.
Exactly.
So if you have a collision, you can't, it's gonna get flung forward. So if the seat is facing backwards, in a case like that, the baby more than likely would have been fine.
Yeah. Had it been in I don't know which part of the car it was in, but Lord, oh boy.
Someone says, I can't believe that's not a thing in SKN.
It is a thing on the law books, but...
It is? Here?
Yeah, that it's mandated. I saw someone had a comment that says that, but as I said, it's not enforced. And then everybody wants to blame the poor prime minister. Listen, it's up to us. We need to stop politicizing everything. I don't like to speak on politics, but today I'm going to talk about it. Myself and my husband, he drives a taxi. We were taking some guests across to the peninsula. The pond where the house burnt down?
Mm-hmm.
There is a person there minding their own business, exercising on the right side of the road, running on the side of the incoming traffic. And there is someone that's trying to catch a boat, one of the car boats. And that person is going to not even try to speed pass. So we had to pull off the road so that they can pass. Now, if we didn't do that, that person that was running, exercising, minding their own business on the right side of the road, they would have ended up in the pond. And then nobody would have gotten anywhere to catch anything. Because when we saw the severity of what would have happened, we had to make the wise decision to pull off.
Yeah.
I do not understand. If you're late, be late. You can't catch it again. You're going to kill somebody and then regret all of this nonsense? Saturday night too, I'm at Gillies. And this car comes barreling down the pond road. Mm-hmm. And there's nowhere to stop. And then apparently I was told the person that was at the bottom of the road that the car blew is an officer. And the person was saying they hope the officer would take the person's number and deal with them. But they couldn't stop if they wanted to. And you just hear beep, and they just flung across the road. And then 5 minutes later, a next one just comes. And I'm like, where are we going? This is not a speeding road. What's wrong with us? We can't blame the Prime Minister for how bad y'all drive. Exactly. This is up to you. I look at even when we're going to the country, be it Old Road or we're going to Sadler's, there are speedometers. And I see some buses and some cars just ain't here. The speedometer is begging them to slow down, and they're just doing whatever they have to do. There's one at the medical school, there's one at Sky Academy, and nobody's paying attention to them. But then everything, it's the government.
Yeah, everything is the government's fault.
Officer Sophie comes on here almost every Monday. She hasn't been here for the past 2. But we speak about this over and over. I beg you, I'm sure other radio and television personalities ask you to not drive so fast. Yet we do the same nonsense all the time. What are we late for?
Yeah.
I see people they say, put more speed bumps. I see people bounce over them things like nothing. So what else do we have to do for you to slow down? We just lost a baby. He has not lived his life as yet. He just graced us with his presence.
Yeah, well said. I just got it's 11. It's 8:32. We just got a release from the police covering that very accident we were talking about with the unfortunate accident with the baby. I'm gonna try and pull it up here. Let me send it to you. Maybe you can read it because I'm trying to pull it up on my iPad, And let me see. So I'll send it to you in the meantime, because. Okay, so here we go. There you go.
You sent it?
Yeah. Okay, so let's go take a quick break. We haven't seen the officer or anything, so let's just get the break out. Then we come back and we read a release from the police force with regard to that unfortunate car crash over the weekend.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
And we are back. So we got this release from the cops. So you want me to read it, or you're gonna read it?
You can go ahead.
I can go
Sure,
ahead.
they're tired
Okay.
of hearing my voice, so you can do it.
No one would ever. No.
I'll follow along.
Especially that laugh. No.
Oh boy.
Mm-mm. that musical laugh.
No boy.
Okay. Wait. Here we go. Okay. So, yeah, the Johnson Longpath road fatality under police investigation. The police are investigating a fatal traffic accident that occurred on January 11 on the Island Main Road at Johnson's Longpath in the vicinity of Ross University. The incident resulted in the death of 4-month-old Makari Edwards of Halfway Tree, and preliminary investigations revealed that between 4 p.m. and 4:30 p.m., two vehicles traveling in opposite directions were involved in a head-on collision. The vehicle heading east toward Bastia was driven by Glenn Keith Richardson of Wingfield Road, Old Road, while the westbound vehicle was operated by Tian Phipps from Farms Project Sandy Point. Both drivers sustained minor injuries and bruises and received treatment at the JNF. And Mr. Richardson's two passengers, namely baby Makiri Edwards and Khadija Lewis, aged 23, from Sandy Point and Connery, suffered severe injuries. Wow. Miss Lewis required emergency surgery for 2 broken legs, while unfortunately baby Edwards succumbed to his injuries shortly after the incident. In light of these developments, Mr. Richardson has been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. An investigation into the incident is underway, and the general public will be kept appropriately abreast with its developments. The police force extends its deepest condolences to the family of baby Makiri Edwards and all those affected by this heartbreaking event.
Makiri.
What did I say? Makiri.
Makiri.
Oh, Makiri. Sorry. Yeah, I think I actually said it right the first time.
The first time, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Makiri.
Yeah. I hope Makiri's name stays in the hearts of us all. Makiri is just an innocent little soul, as I said. Wow.
So there we go. I'm just hoping that people. I mean, we say this every day. Oh, good. So we have the officer here.
Yeah.
And we have Donnelly showing up for traffic talk. Yeah. Yeah. So Donnelly has joined us, and good morning, Donnelly. Oh, she doesn't have on any headphones yet. So, okay. So, for those of you who just joined us, we just read a release from the police force concerning the Johnson Longpath accident, and we just had Donnelly, an officer from the traffic department. So she's gonna help us kick off our first episode for 2025. Donnelly? Morning. Okay, pull the mic. Okay. Okay. Hey, Donnelly, come on. Go ahead. Don't be shy. Yes, you're on. You are on. Don't give me that shy stuff.
You are on.
Good morning, good morning.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you.
And as good morning to all persons out there in Radio Land. Happy New Year to you. But before we kick off our program this morning, in everything we give thanks. And so we want to read a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Good morning again to those persons in Radio Land. Like I would have said before, in everything we give thanks, and so we're going to breathe just a short word of prayer before we start our program. Heavenly Father, we want to thank you, dear God, for the God of whom you are, God of grace, God of peace. And we are who we are because of you. And we thank you, Heavenly Father, for waking us up this morning in our right minds and bringing us safely to this place. And as we continue to do this radio program, dear Lord, we're asking you for your guidance and your protection. Peace be upon our nation. The persons who are responsible for this program, we are grateful. We bring all of them into your care. These mercies we ask in your name and no other name. Amen.
Amen.
Good morning again to those persons in Radio Land. I am here once again to bring information from the traffic department to you. This is our first program for the year, and so we want to say Happy New Year to you, our taxpayers, our nation, those persons who are listening to our broadcast wherever you are. We continue to give thanks to our sponsors for continuing to sponsor this program. We're very grateful. And on behalf of the Traffic Department and by extension, the High Command of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, we say Happy New Year to you as we continue to strive for safer streets, a more lawful country, more joy, good health, more camaraderie, real laughter, friendship. And we cannot at this time not mention the persons who are mourning at this time.
Yeah, we were talking about that just before you came in.
Yes, those who would have lost a loved one, a family member, a friend, or even just knowing that a life was lost. And in all of this, we, the members of the traffic department, have a difficult task when we have to go to that family member and say to them, it's a pain. And as I sit here and as I speak, my heart is racing. Because could you imagine how some persons are feeling this morning?
Yep. My skin is actually on high. I'm getting the goosebumps.
And we continue to give God thanks. And so in light of all of that, we will move into speaking to what can we do to curb these accidents. Traffic department has their work cut out for them. They were saying Christopher and Nevis Police Force has their work cut out for them. And so together with the general public. It's an effort that we all have to work together. Drivers, you are held accountable. You have a sense of responsibility when you're driving. We would speak to fatalities. We would have had, I think, 13 in 2024 and one already for 2025. And even though we would have lost those in 2024, the most recent one that we had, not that all of them are not touching, but when we speak to the most recent one we had with that baby, that just brings it to a sense of awe. And so we want to speak to the drivers of these vehicles. We have a website, www.police.kn, where you can log on and find information concerning road safety and some of the plans and the things that we have in place for dangerous driving, reckless driving. I want to speak this morning about two drivers not wearing seatbelts, because that's a cause. Speeding is a cause. And drivers who have their passengers not wearing seatbelts and children not wearing seatbelts.
Or standing in the middle of the car.
And not in their car seats.
Mm-hmm.
I remember some years ago when we put on stream the seat belt, the law that we spoke about, the car seat. Person fought with the traffic department. Oh, where are we going to find money to buy a car seat? How are we going to afford that? But look at what is happening now. Let us take the accident that happened over there in Contact, the one with the child and the driver that ran to the bushes. The child, about 2 years old, was sitting in the back seat of the vehicle.
Not secured.
Not secured. No car seat. 2 years old. Lucky for that driver, he did not hit any hard object, just ran to the bushes. Let's say, for example, there was a lamppost or a wall.
Oh, a big tree.
Could you imagine what would have happened? The occupants of the vehicle is saying that the driver, trying to concentrate on the road when the accident occurred, he's trying to hold back the child now because the child is between the seats.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to fight the wheel, trying to hold the child back.
Mm-hmm.
So there it is that he's trying to do multitask, trying to do two things at once.
Mm-hmm.
Had that child been in the car seat,
that would have never happened.
There we go.
So you're saying there was a car seat?
There was no car seat.
There was no car seat. She's saying, had the child been in one.
Okay. No, you said in the, so I was it was kind of implying that there was one, but the kid wasn't.
No, there wasn't. There
Okay,
wasn't one.
all right,
There was no car seat.
Okay.
And so we want to reach out to you, the drivers. Safety is important. Seat belt and car seats, they are important. You must never be too much in a hurry not to buckle up those children. You as a passenger, you yourself have to be buckled. Let us take the one with the child. That 4-month-old baby. The law doesn't specifically speak to the age of a child at the front of the car. What the law says is once you're sitting in the passenger seat, you must be buckled. But I guess the law doesn't expect persons to put a 4-month-old baby in the front of a vehicle. And so there is no specific age. That lady who was holding the baby, she should have been in the back. But the child is months, is supposed to be in a car seat regardless.
The law about the car seat, right? Because it don't seem like a lot of people know. When was it enacted into law?
That was in 2017. I stand corrected. Okay, I stand corrected that it could have been 2017. If I'm not correct, it is the information that I could, but it could have been 2017. Okay. Now, you must make sure that your passengers are buckled. Children must not sit or stand between the seats, and that happens ever so often.
Every day. I see it, I cringe, because I'm thinking, what if a sudden stop has to happen? And I asked Jamsta, I said it this morning, that child could be flung through the windscreen. That's a tender body. Just imagine what that would look like.
And I went on a radio program, I am not certain if it was this one or ZIZ, where I brought an instance where a child went through the windscreen and persons are not taking note.
Not taking note, they're not taking heed, they're not doing anything.
Nothing.
Every day I see it.
And when an officer stops you, we harassing, we disgusting. Go and look for the persons who have guns. And here we are now, facing these tragedies. We are not begging persons. We are not coming on the radio station. We are going to educate you, and we are going to enforce the law. And when things like these happen, persons get all teary, and persons get all remorse. They get remorseful. Mm-hmm. But yet, the next day,
back to the same nonsense.
Back to the same nonsense. They get on the program, and they call in, and they speak. Mm-hmm. And they're not telling their friend or their brother, their mom, their dad, Mommy, Daddy, or you're my friend, buckle up the children. You cannot give somebody who has a child a lift if there isn't a car seat in that vehicle. For example, you are my friend, you ask me to pick up your child from school. Your child is 4 years old. I do not have a car seat in my vehicle, so I cannot pick up your child.
But how many people, Officer Donnelly, do you think actually have car seats or booster seats for their children in the Federation?
But that is it. That is it. If you do not have a car seat or a booster, then the privilege of giving your friend a ride will not reach out to you, because you do not have what is necessary for you to give that person a ride or a lift. The law clearly states that a child months to 5 must be in a booster or a seat, a car seat. And if the law speaks so clearly on it, why are we trying to be different? Why do we want to fight with the law when the law specifically speaks to it? General public, taxpayers, members of the communities, let us work hand in hand, knowing this is going to save a life. Our children are our future, and so we have to protect them. And even if you and I are friends, and I cannot pick up your children because the law states, nothing is wrong with that. Let us have another option. Because we want to save the lives. And you as a parent, how could you feel good within your heart knowing that you cause injuries to your children because you are not following the law? As a matter of fact, that ticket is the most expensive ticket outside of the speeding ticket, you know. That ticket is a $250 ticket.
That ticket is too cheap.
And
Maybe if you make that ticket a little heavier, then people will abide by the rules.
For our traffic plan for 2024, 2025, 2029, these are the things that we are going to implement. Get the law persons to carry up the fee. There are things that we should be doing as a police force when it comes to, because we have our part to play, when it comes to infrastructure, road signage, these things, speed bumps. These are the things that we must put in place. More education, more going to the schools, having conversation with the instructors. These are the things. We have to keep people abreast, more VCPs, more patrols, more officers on the road. These are the things that we have to put in place. But you as a taxpayer must do your part.
I have two questions here from the newsroom. Well, three, I think. Okay, the first one is, how is the car seat to be placed in the car, facing forward or facing backwards? And what is the charge or ticketed fee for not wearing a seat belt? You want to deal with those first, and then I'll go to the other one.
Okay, so the charge for not wearing a seat belt is $150. If the payment is late, there is an additional $50. The seat belt of the position of the seat in the vehicle, it must be placed on the back seat of the vehicle with the face of the child facing the back of the vehicle.
Rearward.
Yes.
And that's for the really small kids, right?
That's for the children that are
That's what I was thinking.
months to 5 years old.
Yeah, because they have no control of the necks and stuff like that.
That's correct.
Okay. The other question. Well, actually, let me ask this question. I wouldn't want to say get in trouble, but I always insist when I'm driving and people get in the back, I tell them to put their seatbelts on, and sometimes they fight me, right? Adults, and I'm like, no, put your seatbelts on, and I don't move until they put their seatbelts on. Is that in law?
At the back?
Yeah.
At the back is 5 or 6 to 14 years old. It's not a necessity for the seatbelt at the back for adults.
Okay.
But it's a necessity. It's in law for children that are up to the age of 14 years old.
Okay.
Seatbelt, 5 to 14.
Okay.
That car seat is so important for our children. And I want to make sure that persons out in Radioland understand what we're speaking about. Thinking of the injuries, fatalities that can happen if children are not buckled.
I also think it's important for you to point out to people why a booster seat is needed, because I recognized from an ergonomic standpoint why it was necessary, because sometimes your kids get to that weird age where they're not babies, but when you try to put the seatbelt on, the seatbelt is almost like it's throttling them. It's like it's, So I think you need to make the point about why a booster seat is needed.
Yes, and you are so correct. But not only that, children in seatbelt, they tend to play with the buckle, and some children are so smart these days that they unbuckle themselves. And so the booster seat, because of the way it is built, the children are unable to loosen themselves from that booster seat. So the booster seat is I can safely say a secured mechanism. Thank you for that word. That they cannot play with or loosen that easy. Parents, guardians, there are children, and I say children, you're 18 years old, your child, you have a driver's license at 18 years. But parents, guardians, you have your sons and your daughters, just turned 18, got their driver's license. And you as a parent very well know that your child is not on your insurance and you give them permission to drive your vehicle. 1. Parents and guardians who are owners of motor vehicles are very well aware that their children do not have a driver's license and they're going to put them behind the steering wheel and say, it's only in the community, or it's night, or it's a Saturday, Saturday afternoon, nobody on the road, or it's Sunday, I'm only teaching. We want to let the general public know that you as a parent or a guardian cannot teach your children to drive unless you are an instructor. You must have an instructor's license. And here's where it all begins, you know. Here is where all of this begins. It starts with you giving your children permission to get behind a wheel, knowing that they don't have the driver's license to drive the vehicle. You as a parent do not have the appropriate license either to teach your child. You might say, oh, he's only my son, he's only my daughter. That is wrong. We start things wrong, and sometimes they end up wrong. We cannot just say, oh, I'm only moving from point A to point B, I don't need a car seat for that. I'm only going around the corner just to drop off the baby. I am certain that the young lady who was sitting in the front of the vehicle with that child probably was telling herself, I'm only going from point A to point B, we're going to get there just now. I don't need to go to the back, or the child don't need to be in a seat. But the child is not here with us today. And that is very heartbreaking. So let us not take chances. Let us operate as if, because people don't plan for accidents, you know. Sometimes the way we drive make you think that you want to cause an accident. Like you're planning it. But accidents are spontaneous moments. We don't plan for them, because sometimes you're in the right with an accident. You're driving, going on your merry journey, and you're in the right. Let's take, for example, last week, Monday, I was driving, coming to work. I was traveling along the Wellington Road, just next to the government gas station. And there was 3 vehicles in front of me. And we were driving, going along, and a young lady came up in a vehicle, whoosh, on the left side, whoosh, past all 4 of us, and then she's trying to squeeze in to get to where she wants to go. Mm-hmm. And so, persons had to stop, so we stopped. She's wrong, but we had to stop giving her the leeway to go through. Mm. And the police in me, I was on a different mission, but the police in Donnelly followed her to see where she was going. And I followed her, and I jumped out of my vehicle and had a conversation with her, and I'm telling you, she's going to have a conversation with the magistrate. Because we cannot let these things go unnoticed, because they're going to think that it is okay. Yep. And so I am speaking to the general public that let us think twice of the way we are going to operate when we are driving. Let us always bear in mind that the road is not for us or for you alone. We have pedestrians and we have other road users. Other persons are using the road, and so we must use the road the way it is supposed to be used. Stop taking chances, like the colloquial term they're using now. Done with it. Done away with it.
I have the other newsroom question. Okay. Some argue that the police force, the traffic department, is being responsive, yes, but rather than proactive dealing with these issues. How would you respond to that?
Like I said before, we being proactive. We do VCPs. We do traffic checks. We do walkthroughs. We educate. Some persons have the information but operate like they don't. And so we being proactive when it comes to accidents is saying to drivers, be defensive in your driving. We go to schools and we have conversations with the children because they're going to be a driver at some point, especially those who are older, those who are 16 and 17, because you can get a learner's permit at the age of 16 to ride a motorbike. And so we go into the schools, we go on the radio programs, we have pamphlets that we give out. We had a police week, a traffic week last year, where we would have on the road stop. We had a ticket-free day where we just stop the drivers and had conversations, asking them the question of what it is that we can do to improve the way how we operate as traffic officers and so on. That was very interactive. Persons would have, spoke their mind and give us suggestions and so on that we would have taken on board with us. And so we try our best to be, but when it comes to accident, like I would have said before, we don't know, because sometimes we're at an accident scene in West Farm, and there's another accident on Johnson Long Path, or there is one on the eastern side of the country. So we can't say all of our accidents are happening on the eastern side of the road, and so we are going to put more speed bumps on the eastern side of the road and leaving the west portion of the country.
Speaking of suggestions, here's one. In addition, convicted drivers, especially where there is a fatality, should lose their licenses for a long time, if not for life. What do you say to that? Or is it that there may be provision for that in the law?
There is provision. Okay. And so the court will take care of, because remember, the charges are whether it's reckless driving or dangerous driving, causing death by dangerous driving. Mm-hmm. And so the offences are there. And so the law speaks to that, taking the matter before the magistrate court, and the magistrate weighing the circumstances as to whether the person was willful in the action, or whatever the case may be.
So I guess this would probably be also a case where, recently we had the court doing a sentencing, and they explained the rationale and so on. So I'm assuming that would apply to in cases like that as well.
Yes,
where they will say, okay. Two other things I wanted to mention.
Before you go, mm-hmm. I would want to be one of the persons who would join with the person in our communities, our taxpayers, in saying that once somebody gets more than 2 tickets in a month and you have certain amount of accidents under your belt, that your license be taken away. I am one of the persons who would like to see or would hope that we would change the law into making these ticketable offenses higher. I am one of those persons who would like to see that. Because some persons, for example, a tinting ticket, they're going to say, oh, I'm going to pay the 150. But you still want to keep the tint on your vehicle, you put it on over and over. Or they would say, seatbelt ticket, man, I'm going to pay the seatbelt. The ticket. So they would pay the seatbelt ticket, not realizing that you get a seatbelt ticket and what could have happened? There could have been an accident. There could have, anything could have happened during the time that you were not wearing your seatbelt. But for them, it's just about paying the money. Yeah. And so these are the things that we need to put in place so that persons could understand it's not just about the money.
Okay, 2 quick things. One, this is in reference to what you said about, you guys might be at one scene and then you find out that it's another one somewhere else. Is it that when the traffic department is finished, the traffic department facility is finished, that you guys will be working 24-hour shifts? Just like the hospital does. I mean, for example, if you go to the hospital at 3 o'clock in the morning, there's a doctor, there are nurses, and I think similarly at traffic department, the police department, as far as I know, used to be like that. I don't know if it's the same.
Yes, we still do a 24-hour shift.
Okay, so yes. The traffic department would have more of the wherewithal to do that.
Yes. As a matter of fact, I can say now that our night VCPs will continue this weekend.
Someone asked what a VCP was. What's that?
Vehicle checkpoint.
Oh, okay. The other thing I wanted to say was I wanted to comment on something that always bugs me. Why is it, what do you say to people who have scant regard and basically scofflaws when it comes to our laws in our country? And the same people, I mean, you talked about people saying, where are we going to get money to get car seats? But if they lived in the U.S. or the Virgin Islands or anywhere else, they comply.
Almost everybody that comes back from the U.S., the child is in a car seat.
Exactly.
You best believe it.
So how would you appeal to those people who somehow feel that our country's laws don't deserve the same respect that they would give them elsewhere?
And that is why when I started my opening, I said, we are hoping for and to continue to strive for safer streets and a more lawful country. And the reason why there was no mistake when I said lawful, because person think it's a joke when we say that we are very lawless in this federation. Person think it's a joke, but we are. And so we are appealing to the general public, taxpayers, our nation, our communities. I remember when it used to take a community to raise a child. Maybe we need to put that into effect when it comes to driving, especially when we are carpooling. Speak to your friend, speak to your brother, speak to your parents. I remember doing camps, where I go to camps where I speak to children, and children are saying, my mommy, whenever my mommy sees the yellow light, she speeds up, or he speeds up.
and they rattle their parents.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Yep.
And so we have to be careful how we operate in front of our children, because they speak. And running these red lights causes accidents as well. And so these are the situations that we are facing. And so those persons who think that it is not necessary for a car booster or a car seat, we want to educate you and to inform you that there is a reason and a purpose for the car booster, the car seat. The lives we save will be our children's life. And so this alone in itself should mean something to us as a general body. We must always remember what could happen if children are not placed in a car seat or a car booster. I will not sit here and tell persons how to spend their monies. But sometimes the thing we spend monies on and then say we can't afford a car seat, it's impossible to think the way we think. A car seat, a car booster is important to have once you have children that are under the age of 5 and you are an owner of a motor vehicle. That car booster should be like your hand, or your left hand or your right hand, that you think that you must have.
All the time.
All the time. It's important. So we want to speak to the general public, speak to a friend, speak to a neighbor, speak to our parents, and we ourselves, because sometimes we speak to persons and we're doing the things that are wrong. And so we ourselves to abide by the law. Like I said before, www.police.kn is our website where you can go and get more information. And if you have a suggestion, we accept suggestions, we accept criticisms, because the criticisms are what is going to boost us and make us better, because we are not here, there, and everywhere. And so when you come, whether you come good or you come bad, we accept it, because sometimes we need to be criticized in order for us to do better. And so we should take the criticisms in good faith, looking at it and saying, boy, this is really true, you know, we need to put a plug on here, or we need to fix here, or we need to pull something here.
And I need to say again, you guys need stronger enforcement of people using indicators. I can't say it enough.
Yes, that is true. We will continue to educate. I would have come here with a lot of mixed feelings as to what my program should be like, but leaving without touching seat belts and accidents would not have fit well with me, because we know there are persons out there who are waiting to hear what our traffic plan is, looking to see what we are going to put in place, and it's something that we are working on, you know, so that we can have safer streets, because we need to make sure that our children survive, and even we as grown-ups, we need to make sure that we survive.
Quick thing before you go, we did receive another release from the traffic department over the weekend, which referenced things like electronic ticketing and so on. Don't want to put you on the spot, but you have any idea how long it might take for some of that stuff to come on the street?
Well, everything needs a budget.
Yeah, okay.
Everything needs a budget. Let's just say that.
Okay.
There were some policies that we would have put in place. Renewal of driver's license, that too is on our website. And just for the persons who don't know, the validity of an expired driver's license and expiry of your driver's license, your driver's license expires on your date of birth after 3 years. So I was born on the 26th of December. My driver's license expires on the 26th of December after 3 years.
Oh, I was born on the 26th of May.
So the persons who does not renew their driver's license when they're supposed to, you will still have to pay.
You get less years?
Yes, less years.
Say that again?
Oh.
Say that again.
Say that again for Jamster. So
you get less years
when you pay late.
when you pay late.
But you still pay the money.
You still pay the money.
Oh.
Yep.
So if your driver's license expires on the 26th of December, on the 26th of May, and you don't renew your driver's license until the 26th of May 2025, it should have been 2024, you're only going to get 3 years, but you have to pay the 187.
But what if I renew it, like, say, it's up in the May, but I renew it in the July? I still use the July of the same year. I still lose the year? Or I lose a couple months?
You would lose. The Inland Revenue Department would work out the
time.
The timing. It says here, renewal of expiry driver's license. If a driver's license is renewed after its expiration date, the validity period of the new license shall commence from the expiration date of the previous license, regardless of the actual date of renewal. However, the license should reflect the actual date of the license. There are some exceptions. Exceptions to this rule shall be granted only to individuals who provide satisfactory evidence that they were unable to renew their driver's license because 1, incapacitation due to medical and other personal circumstances. 2, being out of the Federation for the period during which the license expired. And you're going to have to bring your passport and your ticket and so on to say, well, this is the reason why I did not get a chance to pay for my driver's license. This topic is which I would speak on more when I get back on the program another time. And I also want to one of the problems that we were having during the Christmas season was rental companies not speaking to just Horsford and TDC. I'm speaking to locals who have their own rental business, who would issue a vehicle to a driver before they obtain the appropriate driver's license. That must stop with immediate effect. You cannot rent someone a car if they do not have the appropriate driver's license. Now you can also get a temporary driver's license online, www.police.kn, and you go to our e-license and you follow the instructions. Taking those chances again create accidents and more work for the police. I can give you about 10 cases where that would have happened during the month of December. Now, there are countries of the OECS that are not allowed a temporary driver's license because your driver's license you are allowed to use. Yeah. You have St. Vincent and the Grenadines, you have Antigua and Barbuda, you have St. Lucia, you have Tortola, you have Montserrat. And so these are the countries, Grenada, Dominica. But if you do not have a driver's license from those countries, you're coming from Trinidad and Tobago, the US, China, wherever you're coming from, you must have a temporary driver's license. So we are appealing to the persons out there who owners of rental vehicles to make sure that persons have the appropriate driver's license whenever they come to the Federation, they come to our shows and they want to drive. Okay.
So 9:22, we gave you extra time, given the gravity, given the gravity of the crash on the weekend. One comment before you go. You could probably weigh in on it quickly. Road markings are required everywhere, not just at roundabouts. Sections of the St. Peter's and bypass roads have been resurfaced for over 2 months and remain unmarked.
Carla, we are away, and we as a matter of fact, we started our road markings on Monday of last week. So we are working. It's working. It's in progress.
Okay.
We want to thank you for listening to our radio program, and we wish you a safe and productive week.
And we also wish you a tragedy-free week. Are you coming back next week?
Have a good day, Mr. Jamsta.
It's always nice to see you. And Happy New Year.
Thank you, same to you.
Okay, all right. That's Traffic Talk.
Be careful on the road. Hey. Don't make it an episode. How much more?
Found the sound 98.9.
Supermarket shoppers understand that convenience matters. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Ample parking and the widest variety matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Clean, spacious aisles and the highest level of customer service all matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, price matters most. We've renewed our commitment to guarantee the lowest prices in the Federation. Why? Because we understand that in this tough economic environment, price matters most. Shop smart. Shop Value Mart, where price matters most. Farms Estate Nevis and Wellington Road, St. Kitts.
Price matters most.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Representing totally. I place my hand across my heart and pledge allegiance to the flag. Oh, land of beauty, we a piece of bone. Give thanks for everything we have. Ooh, SKN forever. Ooh, me not think there's no place better. Ooh, SKN forever. Ooh, me not think there's no place better. TVC is also nice and saying it's sweet now. And I'm in love with this island life. You are talk about live for. It's a my home, and I love it so till. It's a my home, and I love it for real. What's up? Home sweet home is excellent. I going always represent. Sing this song as a testament. In a SKN me well confident. Paradise and me location. Me live where everybody want vacation. Wave your flags them high in celebration. And show some love to the federation. Ooh, ooh, SKN nice and groovy. Ooh, ooh, where I live is like a movie. Ooh, ooh, SKN nice and groovy. Ooh, ooh, my island like a movie. This is also nice and saying it's sweet now. And I'm in love with this island life. You are talk about live for. It's a my home, and I love it so till. It's a my home, and I love it for real. Let me say this already born and raised. Oh, oh. It's already born and raised. Oh, oh, oh.
Hey, that's we just had a great traffic talk. Well, under the circumstances.
But we were chopping up things afterwards, and it's
Yeah.
funny that we're gonna make a big deal out of it right now, and then we're gonna go back to doing the same thing, which is sad, and we don't need that. That's why we need our policing to be enforced and enforced and enforced, not just be strict because we had this and then we lapse again. No lapsing when it comes to the children. All right, no problem. No lapsing when it comes to the children. I mean, invest in a proper car seat. I was reading something there online, and I know it may not apply to our laws, but it makes a lot of sense. And I'm going to pull it up and read it again. And as I said, it may not be our law, but maybe those who are in power that write the law can listen to what I'm saying and go back and fit in where it's necessary. And what I pulled up says, according to Hertz Car Rental in St. Kitts and Nevis, children should use a booster seat when they are between the ages of 6 and 7 and weigh between 33 pounds to 79 pounds. That's 15 kg to 36 kg. However, children should use a booster seat until they are between the ages of 8 and 12 years old and are about 4 feet 9. At this height, the vehicle lap and shoulder seatbelt should fit them properly, because the seatbelt is supposed to fit across the hip and the thigh. And we know with the younger children, it's sometimes over their chest. Like sometimes I find myself telling my niece and nephew to put that seatbelt back across, because it says it's uncomfortable, so they will just have the part holding onto their little chest or something, and say that part is choking them. And be like, look, it has to be like that. It's only just for a few seconds, because we have to be careful about what we are doing. It says also that here are some other car seat recommendations for children so the heading is infant car seats. Let me read it carefully. For children under 1 year old and weighing less than 20 pounds, that's 9 kg, these seats should be installed facing backwards. Child car seats for children between the ages of 1 and 5 up to 3 feet tall, 1 meter, and weighing between 20 pounds to 42 pounds, 9 kg to 19 kg. And then forward-facing car seats. Children should use forward-facing car seats with a harness and tether until they reach the top height or weight limit allowed by the car seat manufacturer. And they say any child under 10 years of age is required to be in a booster seat. Those children that are 2 years of age or under are required to be in a rear-facing child seat. And those from 2 to 4 years of age need to be either in a rear-facing child seat or a child seat with a harness. We have to protect our children, folks. We have to. And there is another reading that I saw on Google, and it also says that children, regardless of their age, should not be allowed to sit in the front of any vehicle. They should be in the back. Let's not make a big fuss now that we had another tragic accident, and one that claimed the life of an innocent 4-month-old baby. That godparent, did not expect that day to be the last for that child. Okay.
Finish your thought.
Okay, no, but I saw this, I tell you.
Yeah.
So
Then break.
Okay.
Yeah.
So please, let's not act now impulsively and then we just go back to being nonchalant and laid back. Remember, the car seat you buy today can save your child's life going forward. And parents, stop, please, having the kids stand in the middle of the vehicles.
Thank you. Well said. 9:30. Next day part from 9:30 until 10 o'clock. It's all about Rams, sponsored by Rams. Their amazing creamery ice cream, Buster, and so on. I'm coming right back.
All right.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Buster! We run things are run we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like party. Buster! Buster! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste. Buster, bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Buster, live in full color.
Buster!
Oh, I've got this feeling to high-five the sun, dance in the rain, and have my scoop of fun. I'm on my way to flavor my day with something new, and I've got room for you. Let loose and live a little, get close and share a little, give in and taste a little. You'll fall in love with creamery novelties. Love life and live a little, get close and share a little, give in and taste a little. You'll fall in love with creamery novelties.
Enjoy Creamy Novelties Ice Cream, distributed by Rams Trading. Live a little.
And we are back, and we had some calls. It seems as though the delay is really bad because, listen, we had all these calls coming in when Darlene had rapped, and just now during the commercial break, phones are going crazy. So, the people that wanted to call, feel free to call back. And I really, I really want to take this opportunity to beg people to have some respect for our laws. I mean, it always annoys me. And I guess next time I'll bring up the whole disregard for our traffic laws up at the. I hate to see that what goes on up at the bus terminal on Wellington Road, where people are standing outside, buses are packed up outside. That should not be allowed. They should be
outside where on the road.
Yes, it should not be allowed.
That's why they have the bus.
They should go in, and people should go inside and sit down. I don't
normally
know.
see people
you
on
can't do that
the
anywhere
side of the road,
else.
and that's not the safest place to be sitting.
You cannot do that anywhere else.
Yeah.
I don't know.
As I said, we just do something for 9 days, and then we go back to being our, as she said, lawless selves, and we need to stop. We need to stop.
We absolutely need to stop. Yes. Yeah. So I think we covered a lot. She covered a lot today. And that release we got over the weekend, like what I mentioned, it mentioned about additional markings and also electronic ticketing and so on. And I would really like to see more robust, a more robust finding regime. Yeah, fine me too if you see me doing something wrong, obviously.
Yeah, we all have to be held accountable.
Caller, go right ahead.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How are you guys this morning?
Well, I'm trying my best to be my best. What about you?
I'm all right. Do you know most modern cars today, the booster seat is built in the car?
Okay, no, I wasn't aware. So thanks for
people
that.
should check the vehicle and see if they have the booster seat already built in the car.
Okay.
That's what they need to do. Cause my vehicle have the booster seat
Built
in it.
in. Okay.
What kind of vehicle do you have?
A Volvo
Oh, okay.
and a Volkswagen.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so sounds like a European thing then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
And
those,
there's the booster seat
Yeah.
built in it.
Okay.
yeah, those two cars are European, so that must be something going on there. I've never
I think it
seen.
was in my Apollo also.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, an Apollo. That's a GM, right? Apollo.
I don't know cars. You know my husband know cars.
Apollo?
I just drive them when I get them.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
But are your grandkids, right, allowed to be in the front seat of your car in the U.S.?
Not until they reach a certain age. Like my 12-year-old, and because they're so accustomed to go in the back.
Mm-hmm.
My granddaughter, which is what should be 40. Her first instinct is to jump in the back.
Oh, okay.
So even if the front seat is empty, for some reason she don't even jump in it. Like when I pick her up from school, I'm like, you can sit in the front. It's only me and you in the car.
Mm-hmm.
Their first instinct is to jump in the back.
Mm-hmm.
But the kids really should be in booster seats. And I mean, the hospital, like you said, they should start implement that where that is where you get the parents realize that a car seat is mandatory.
It is.
Don't let the babies leave the hospital unless they have a car seat.
Yeah.
You start that training from there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you let them go home with the child, they might not never go buy a car seat.
Yeah.
They take the risk. The people take the chance still. So maybe if they implement that and say, you must have that car seat before this baby leave the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
You see what you
And
said?
then-
The training begin right there.
Right there, yeah. But then I'm thinking too, caller, for those persons who don't have their own vehicles, right, and they have to take those car seats in buses. How will all of
true.
these things work? Because these bus drivers, they're still driving like their heads not on right. I don't know. I don't know.
So
I don't know how it's
just so
gonna
much.
work. We need the car seat, but how is it gonna work when it comes to the buses and other vehicles?
Right, because number one, if you have to take a baby on the bus and you have to take up a seat, then when you look, they're gonna make you pay for that seat.
Well, I would prefer to pay for the seat. At least my child is safe.
But then people might start complaining that they don't want to pay
You
for
see,
that
and that's
extra
the
seat. To put
okay.
the
Are
car
we
seat
gonna
on.
pay for a funeral, or are we gonna pay for $3 for the extra seat? Which one is cheaper?
Why I tell you.
I don't understand.
Paying the $3.
I don't understand the reasoning. Oh, where are we gonna get money to really?
Exactly.
Really?
Like, who are we interested in saving here? Walking isn't even safe because they drive crazy on the roads. So I don't listen. We have to sacrifice something for something. If the Lord sacrifices life so that we can live, we have to sacrifice something so that we can live too. We just complain about everything and try to make an excuse about everything, but we have to look out for the best interest of all concerned. So if the busman shouldn't be too mean too and decide, oh, they don't, let's say they say, oh, they're taking up like two people seat or something like that. Just that person could be the person that's driving you the busman in the future, because you will get old. You can't drive bus forever. You too.
Anyway, Jamsta Friday, I was gonna call to have a light moment, but y'all had the quiz.
But you could have called still.
I didn't want to change your thing.
No,
you know,
you
I
could
have
have
a light
called.
moment where I read someone was complaining and asking, saying that they made an order on Shein, and when they got their package, one of their most valuable piece of item was missing, which is their toy. The female is asking whoever took her toy, and I'm not gonna say the word. I would think y'all know what I mean. Mm-hmm. She want her toy.
Oh my God! So where was this package sent?
The package was sent to what call bot something. I had write down the name. I would write down the name of the company, bot something or the other.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh boy.
But the lady want her toy.
No boy, maybe it's not allowed where she is.
Somebody steals she battered with toy.
Well, she lives in St. Kitts.
Yes.
Well, she can get one down on College Street.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Can I see?
Yeah.
Oh boy. I get it. Oh boy.
Hey, it's funny, man. I ran off on that store this morning. Well, I think it was either this morning or yesterday. I don't remember why. Yeah, but yeah, my mind ran off on the store. Hey, lots of nice stuff in there, edible oils, all that stuff.
Okay, all right. Okay. Cleo got you started. Cleo got you started.
Yeah.
Oh
so,
boy.
So I'm sure there were a couple other things in the news that I wanted to talk about. There was something else that you had said.
Elections coming up in the regional
let's go
scene
through that.
for
Where is it? Yeah, pull up that.
Let me pull that up in the chat. Yeah, a lot of countries, St. Vincent, Anguilla. They got a lot of countries that have elections. Guyana. Hold up, let me just.
Guyana, really?
Yeah.
Seemed like they had elections.
Time just flying, right? Oh my gosh.
And we have elections, 2027? So
2020. Yeah, really?
Yeah. So if we
you
5
years.
you realize if they didn't have elections early, then elections might have been last year, I think, right?
Oh yes, because
2020
of what?
then 2022. So it would have elections would have been last year. No, wait. No. Elections would have been this year. What am I saying? Yeah, I think. Yeah.
All things equal.
Yeah. If yeah.
Because they got it in what year?
2020. It was a second term, and then they had elections in 2022. And then elections would have been this year. Yeah.
Okay. And it says, and it's from Loop Caribbean. And it says, Caribbean countries going to the poll in 2025. It said it's a super year for politics in the Caribbean, region as general elections will be called in several countries where constitutionally due. Trinidad and Tobago, we know that. We know Mr. Rowley said he's not doing that anymore. He's done with that. Jamaica, Suriname, Guyana, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines are among the larger CARICOM countries, which will command the attention of the region as voters either choose to keep current governments in power or decide whether it's time for a change of the guard. Many of these governments during their tenure would have contended with the effects of COVID-19, increasing gun violence, and natural disasters, coupled with the effects of climate change. Here are some Caribbean countries that will be holding general elections in 2025. Anguilla, to be advised. Belize, to be advised. Bermuda, February the 18th. Curacao, March 21st. Guyana, to be advised. Jamaica, to be advised. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, to be advised. Suriname will hold its election on May 25th, 2025. Trinidad and Tobago, to be advised. Turks and Caicos Islands, February the 7th, 2025. And yeah, those are all that will be having
And Canada is having elections.
When?
They're supposed to have elections in March, is what the month I've heard bandied about. Because, the Prime Minister has
stepped down.
He stepped on as head of the Liberal Party, and he said he's going to...
So he's going to continue to reign until?
Yeah, until they have elections.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes. What I find interesting, this is on the aviation front. Well, two things. The first one was that, you remember, you asked me about the world's busiest airport on Friday. Well, that has changed now. It's not Hartsfield, Atlanta anymore. It's Dubai. I'm kind of surprised.
But is it them yet? Because it's set for 2025 to
become
the busiest. So I think Atlanta still have it until then, right?
Yeah, but how are they projecting that? I mean, how do they? I'm wondering how they project that.
Maybe they have events happening.
Yeah.
People are already booking, so they have the stats to say this is what is going to happen.
If all these people end up, yeah. And then, so the other thing now, which I found curious, is the plane. You guys remember the plane that ran into that concrete barrier in South Korea because of the bird strike.
God bless the soul.
They're saying that the black boxes stopped recording about 4 minutes.
Yeah, how?
Which is
weird.
Kind of interesting.
So that means the hydraulics mess with the black boxes too?
That's what I'm wondering.
Everything shut. That means it shuts down everything, whatever's going on with that particular aircraft.
That's very strange.
When I saw that headline too, I thought, wow, 4 minutes before.
It's short. Let's play this and see,
go ahead.
what it says. Yeah. Okay. Here we go.
Today, we learned the black boxes of a Boeing jetliner that crashed in South Korea last month stopped recording about 4 minutes before the accident. That's the same time the pilots reported a bird strike. The Boeing 737-800 skidded off a runway on December 29th. 179 people were killed. Investigators say it's not immediately clear why the devices failed.
Yeah, so what I find curious, I find that very curious. I mean, why would they have... No, if this had happened with the plane that crashed in Kazakhstan that got shot down, I could have understood. Where you could have said, well, maybe the Russians had someone on board who made sure that to cover their tracks or whatever. Yeah, something like that. But in this case, I mean...
I'm wondering if, as we said, everything shut down, the hydraulics, maybe nothing wasn't working. This is me saying. They didn't say that, please. If that interfered with it as well.
Yeah, and the comments here are interesting. Someone said, stop recording. That's so convenient. They just don't want to admit their fault. But what fault is there to admit if there's a bird strike, I mean, let's take this call. Call, go right ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm wondering if they don't have something akin to a Bermuda Triangle in Asia.
Oh, come on.
Well, when you have all strange things like this, I mean, you have to wonder. I mean, just like how they haven't solved the mystery of that flight. Was it
the Malaysia MH something?
MH something, yeah.
270, something like that. Yeah. Mm.
Right. So, but because I mean, the black boxes, I think, are usually situated in places which.
Exactly, in the tail actually. But and all the comments here saying the same thing. Someone is. It's extremely uncommon for a voice recorder to fail. They can even survive fatal crashes. Seems fishy. I agree.
They're designed that way, I think. But anyhow, it was a Boeing plane, was it?
Oh, here was somebody says, yeah, it was a Boeing. Here was someone says, this comment, this sounds like someone who's a pilot. It says, it appears that the flight data recorder and the cockpit voice recorder did not technically fail. The reason they stopped working was there was no power going to them.
I tell you, it has to be the hydraulics. Well, this is my perception.
No.
Both recordings, wait, let me finish it. Both recorders and the ADSB data all quit at the same moment. The primary power and backup power are provided by the left and right engines. The reason there was no power going to the recorders appears to be because both engines were off. The theory is that the right engine was knocked out due to a bird strike, and the left engine was either accidentally turned off, it's happened before, or it also suffered a bird strike. What about a battery backup? For this model of Boeing 737-800, this person knows this stuff, in the event of losing all power due to losing both engines, the backup battery only provides power to critical flight functions, landing gear, slats, etc., but not to those two recorders, which seems strange. So that actually sounds, it goes on, you could tell this person knows this stuff. The person appears to be a pilot. But yeah, that sounds plausible to me actually.
But it sounds strange to him as well. Him or she or
well, yeah, meaning yeah, the overall thing is plausible, but yeah, I agree that power being routed. But I guess maybe the thinking is power should be routed to the safety systems, the emergency safety systems, rather than the flight recorder. Maybe the thinking is that most of the key information would have already been recorded, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they figure that whatever information they don't get after the bird strike, it might not be as key as the information before. I don't know.
That just sounds strange. I would have thought that things like black boxes, because don't they emit signals even after the crash? And whether they're in water or wherever they are, they can emit signals as well. So there must be some kind of backup.
Oh, here he says. He says here, after this plane was built, the FAA issued a requirement that planes had to have a separate backup battery to power the flight data recorder and cockpit voice recorder. But they didn't make it retroactive to include this plane. Okay, there's also an auxiliary power unit that can power the entire plane, but it has to be turned on, and it appears there wasn't enough time, especially with chaos in the cockpit, to get it up and running in time to do any good. The biggest mystery to me is why they didn't land on runway 1 like they were supposed to. They were already set to land. They had the correct glide slope.
A lot of things.
Yeah. So, but yeah. Because when I heard it, I said that sounds strange. But that explanation sounds plausible, actually.
Well, it has to be explained. It has to be explained somehow.
Yeah.
The Bermuda Triangle end of it was a joke.
Yeah, I know.
But it doesn't inspire confidence when what is supposed to be a modern airliner. Things like this happen, and you can't explain them, and you're told things like, well, what should have been obvious, that there should have been some backup.
Yeah,
so
but
these systems fail as well.
But then you heard the guy said, I guess the retrofit wasn't extended to that particular 737-800. So maybe that's what.
But whose responsibility was it to ensure that it was?
It was just bad luck all around, I guess.
Yeah.
That happens too, bad luck.
Yeah.
I was interested in your earlier segment on
Traffic Talk.
No. On the happiness index, was it?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you know how they arrived at that though? I mean, Did they do a survey of people, or they just assuming
Yeah, I mean,
that
the first
because
time-
you have a high standard of living and good systems of governance?
I
and
remember
so on?
when I started doing it a few years ago. I remember the first listicle actually went into how they actually had quotes from. They apparently do surveys in each country. And and that's how they arrive at those numbers. I mean, like you'd have people saying things like they don't mind paying extra taxes if it means that they don't lose their house because they get sick, and you know a lot of people from these countries, they always say that. And apparently you know, in Europe the work-life balance is much more evolved than it is, say, in the US, right? Even in Canada, even it's way more. I mean, in Canada, for example, both parents get parental leave, right? And you are required. The men are required. I remember when I was doing my internship, one of the guys, he had, so you know, we were making fun of him. You know, one of the guys had to go take paternity leave, and you know the guys were teasing him that
They call it paternity leave, though.
Yeah, paternity leave for that's why it's a parental leave, because then it would apply, you know, men and women.
Right.
But they require that you do take the time to spend time with your child.
I looked at something here, Miss caller, sorry, and it says the World Happiness Report calculates happiness using a combination of factors, including surveys, the Cantrell ladder. They say 6 factors. The report uses 6 factors to explain life evaluations, as the GDP per capita, social support, health, life expectancy, freedom to make life choices, generosity, and perceptions of corruptions, and dystopia. Yeah, it says the report. So it's dystopia, so dystopia. It says
dystopia.
Dystopia?
Yeah, so I guess that would mean...
the reports also establish an imaginary country called Dystopia, which has the world's least happy people. This country is used as a benchmark against which all other countries can be compared.
Mm-hmm.
You see, because and I like the indicator of choice, right? Because it seems to me that if people have choice, they can then decide on whatever makes them happy. They have the freedom, choice and freedom, shall we say, to do what it takes to make them happy, right? I would imagine, for instance, that even though North Korea is supposedly, by those indicators, would be in a terrible state, if 99% of the people are essentially living the same way, do they know any better? They can be just as happy as anybody else, with a lot more stuff and a lot more choice and so on, because they don't know any better, right?
But you'd have to agree.
It's a really subjective indicator. Those
Not
are really
really,
subjective.
because because that's a really extreme case. They have nothing to compare it to.
Right.
Whereas everyone else has, whether you live in a great country like, say, New Zealand, or maybe a crappy one like China. Well, China might be kind of similar to to North Korea. I don't know, because they block a lot of stuff over there.
Yeah, right. So they have less choice. But the point I'm making is that you can't say that the people are not just as happy as, let's say, wherever else. I mean, happiness, I would imagine, is that's a state, right? And you either have it or you don't, kind of thing. Okay? And regardless of the reasons, you say that, well, they have nothing to compare with, it doesn't matter. The fact is, the people are happy, right? Even with their next to nothingness that they have, they're happy, right? So that's why I said those indicators are very subjective. Because
But then, don't you think
you can have all those nice indicators, be way on top with them, but you have a lot of disparity.
But I don't think...
Be 10% of the population living really swell, and the other 90% living like hell, but because of the really swell, those kind of inflate the happy numbers.
But I don't think, I really don't think that that system, don't you think they probably waited to take that into consideration? I really don't think that system is as subjective as you think, because let's take North Korea. Why are people always, why are all these people always trying to escape?
Yeah,
I mean, if they don't know any better, why are all these people trying to escape? You know?
No, but what I'm saying is,
don't you think
people are happy? Don't you find that strange?
No, well, we know that everybody isn't happy because first world living is a double-edged sword, because look at all the shootings and all the alienation people talk about and existential angst that people talk about that makes them kill themselves and shoot up schools.
Yeah, suicide rates. By the way, those Scandinavian countries, aren't the suicide rates supposedly high?
I don't think they're higher than anywhere else. It might be higher in maybe the U.S. and places like that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because there are things that's the point I'm making. This happiness index thing is very subjective, and I'm sure, just like everywhere else, there are happy people and there are unhappy people. The numbers do matter in terms of the percentage of happy against unhappy.
But
right?
I think the mix. But I personally think that the balance is enough. I think that the balance is enough that it's enough to get a scientific reading of how people feel. There might be a little subjectivity, but I don't feel like it's significant to make the, let's say, the survey invalid.
Well, the two things. Well, first of all, call it my bias, but I can't imagine somebody living in those frigid countries being happier than somebody living down here. Just the weather alone.
Some of those countries, say they pay them well, right. They have more work-life balance, as Jamsta was saying, and maybe if people have more money in their pocket, they tend to feel better, right? And they have good health care and all these things, right? And they have more time to spend time with their family or have social time with their friends.
Well, the other point is that, I once, there's a person I know up there, for instance, who said, well, I'd never come back down here because I'm accustomed to my good roads, my great theater life, those kinds of things, right? The thing is, roads not aside. Let's take, for instance, whether it be in nightlife or entertainment or whatever, theater. How often do people go to those things? They have access to them. That is where the choice comes in. They do have access to them. We don't, not easily, right? But how often do they use them? It's just like we having access to the beach. But how often, how many people really go to the beach? How many people go climbing in the mountains and inhale fresh air?
But it's a case of familiarity breeds contempt, right?
Yeah, but you think those are the things that would make people happy? The having access to those things and using it.
Okay,
it's not just only about access. It's also about your lifestyle. How do you use the good things that you have, right?
Yeah. Okay, we gotta wrap it up now. Yeah. Just to say,
it's subjective. I think.
There's some.
Everybody find their own happiness.
But one of the things I would say before I leave is that I think that I remember I had a epiphany a few years ago when I was in Nevis, and I was thinking to myself, how many locals do things like parasailing, jet ski riding, horseback riding, zip lining, all scuba diving, all that stuff. All of these are things
we're not suicidal, you know.
No, but
so, there's only a select group of people who really like those things.
We're not adventurous, if you want to say that. Well, not me,
We're not
because I do
adventurous,
everything.
yeah.
I swam with stingrays and all.
I feel we should try some of these things at least once. That's all I'm saying.
I'm
Because
adventurous.
people pay tons of money to come down here to do that
Do it,
stuff,
and
and
we
we live here
don't.
and we don't.
Yeah.
So, just wanted to say that. Okay, that we gotta close it down. Yes, same to you.
You too.
Okay, so we're gonna be back tomorrow. Hope everyone has a great day, and everyone have a nice day. We'll be back tomorrow for
Tuesday.
Yeah, and come back and join us at 11 o'clock for Voices.
Buster! We run things, things are on we. Buster! Buster! Living color, do it differently. Buster! Buster! Large and in charge, like for the party.